How would you like a straightforward action plan that helps you fight back against Lyme disease and take back your body? That's exactly what Dr. Ingels tries and attempts to provide in the book, The Lyme Solution, a 5-part plan to fight the inflammatory autoimmune response and beat Lyme disease. This book is one of the good ones, and Dr. Ingels is a naturopathic doctor who is, unlike traditional doctors, focuses more on immunotherapy and nutrition and diet and herbs and homeopathy and all of the things that I like to focus on, as well as a holistic nutritionist. And so he's one of the rare ones who actually has training in these fields. See, most doctors only spend 1 hour of all of their hours of training learning about nutrition, and they basically don't have it as a tool in their tool belt. But naturopathic doctors are different, especially Dr. Ingels, who wrote this book. Now, I actually happen to have my own plan for how to fight back against Lyme disease. And if you're new to the channel here, hit the subscribe button, because I share all of the intricate details of how I fought back against Lyme disease and how I help others fight back against Lyme disease all the time on this channel. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, because that tells YouTube that we're making good videos that help people, and we'll be able to help more people who have Lyme disease if you find this video valuable. So just hit that thumbs up button if you think that this video is cool. So Dr. Ingels comes out swinging.
He's got a nice swing.
With the very first chapter called Why Aren't Antibiotics Enough? And that's actually a very controversial topic, and it's one that not every doctor agrees on. Some doctors are heavy on antibiotics and say it's the only thing that works. And some doctors are more in the homeopathy herbs route, and that is where Dr. Ingels lies. The reason he says that antibiotics don't work is, first of all, they can make matters much worse. When you take antibiotics, they kill all bacteria in your body the same, not just, Borrelia burgdorferi, the Lyme microbe, or the co-infections. It actually kills your healthy bacteria as well, which can lead to infections. It can cause serious problems, and it even causes death in some cases. On top of that, 80% of our immune system lives in our gut. So if we're just killing off all the microbes that live in our gut, we're actually harming our immune system and its ability to communicate with all the other immune cells in the body, and its ability to fight back against Lyme disease. So it actually can make matters much worse in the cases where it doesn't work. Now, it only really works in acute cases of Lyme disease, where they have Lyme disease and they just got it like a week ago, and they take some antibiotics. It can flush out the Lyme microbes while they're still going through the bloodstream, before they've taken root, before they started making biofilms, before they started encysting, before they started doing what they do best, which is evade and avoid the immune system inside the body. Now, antibiotics are an amazing invention, but they're just not the right fit for Lyme disease, especially because of the way that the Lyme microbes act inside the body. They have insane methods of hiding and evading and avoiding the immune system that it just makes it so hard for the immune system to fight back to begin with, that using antibiotics to bomb basically your own immune system, it only makes matters much worse. Now, in chronic cases of Lyme disease, we're actually really fighting against the immune system attacking the body. So in chronic cases, it's usually an autoimmune issue, an inflammatory issue that just persists for a long period of time. And so we're not actually fighting microbes back. We actually have to take back control of the immune system and take back control of the body, so that we can actually fight back against Lyme microbes, and also at the same time just have control of that inflammatory response and that autoimmune response that really is what chronic Lyme disease is. So again, the first chapter is a great chapter, really dispels all the myths around antibiotics and goes deep into his opinion about if we should use antibiotics or not. And I happen to agree with him wholeheartedly about the role of antibiotics and where they fit in the use for Lyme disease. So what can we do instead? Well, we look at the whole individual and work with them holistically to improve their immune system, their habits, their nutrition, their sleep, their exercise, every single part of their life, so that their immune system is built up and our body takes back control. and then we fight back using specific things like herbs. Now, let's talk about the 5 stages and the 5-part plan that Dr. Ingels goes through in order to do that. So stage 1 is the gut protocol that restores your immune system. Now, 80% of your immune system lives in the gut, so it's very important that we have a healthy gut. A lot of people are dealing with issues like leaky gut, where the cell wall inside of your gut has a hole in it, where if food goes through that wall, then our immune system is activated and autoimmune issues and inflammatory issues start to occur. So we need to heal the gut, make sure everything's nice and sealed up and working correctly and allowing us to, absorb nutrients and then get rid of the waste that we don't need. That is the whole role of the gut microbiome. But also our immune system lives there, so there's cells communicating with each other and fighting back against other bad microbes and doing the work that allows us to stay alive. So if 80% of it is in the gut, then it just makes sense that that's where we should start on this road. So it makes a lot of sense, Dr. Ingels. That's a great point. Now, 90% of our body is microbes. We're basically just a big pile of microbes just moving through the world. So it makes sense that we would have to focus on this very small bacterial picture in order to become a healthier individual. Here's 6 things that Dr. Ingels recommends for taking back control of your gut and restoring gut health. The first one is probiotics. Probiotics are what are gonna bring back the good guys in the battle. They're gonna bring back the good bacteria. So adding in probiotic foods and probiotic supplements are a great addition to any diet. Especially if you're on antibiotics, then you should definitely be using a probiotic. If you're not, you're just losing all of that healthy gut bacteria. The second one is digestive enzymes, which help with actually breaking down the food. If you didn't know this, digestive enzymes actually start in the mouth. So digestion is actually an entire process. It starts with even just the smell of foods. Your body kicks up some digestive juices in the mouth that allow us to salivate and get ready to eat. And those are actually what start breaking down the food, but then it goes through the whole process that it goes into the stomach, where a bunch of different acids are released depending on what's in the food, fats, carbs, or proteins. And then that food is then, transported the rest of the way. So digestive enzymes will help you break down the food a bit more before it gets into the stomach, so that you're getting the most nutrients and you're breaking down food in the best possible way. A lot of people don't have the best digestive enzyme process in the body when they're eating, just due to unhealthy habits or years of doing some, not so great things in their diet. It eventually starts to break down your digestive enzymes where they don't work properly and they don't do the same thing that they used to do. So supplementing with digestive enzymes can help you break down food a lot easier, get more nutrients out of your food, and help your gut by already breaking it down before it gets there. The third thing is glutamine. So glutamine helps maintain the integrity of the gut barrier, the gut wall that we just spoke about when we were talking about leaky gut. Another one is fish oil, which in combination with probiotics makes your gut lining stronger. So it really helps build up the power of that gut lining. The EPA and the DHA in fish oil is also really powerful for your brain health, and it's just a solid supplement that should be in everyone's diet, in my opinion. So fish oil supplements are something that I take every day, and I think a lot of people would benefit from having them in their life. Another one is resveratrol, which I happen to talk about all the time in the fight against Lyme disease, because resveratrol helps with blood flow, it helps with blood vessel dilation, and it helps with reducing the inflammatory effects that happen from having an unhealthy diet, from having Lyme disease, from going through all of these issues. So using it can really help. And one of my favorite ways to get resveratrol is with the herb Japanese knotweed, which is loaded with something called trans resveratrol, which is the more bioactive of it, which means our body can absorb it easier and use it easier. It's more bioavailable for us to use. So trans resveratrol is the more bioavailable form of resveratrol found in Japanese knotweed. So that's why I always recommend people use Japanese knotweed as one of the cornerstone herbs in their fight against Lyme. And interestingly enough, the final thing on the list for helping with gut issues is herbs. So you can take Japanese knotweed as one of your herbs, but there are two other herbs that he recommends specifically for gut issues. Now this is if you're having digestive problems, or if you just, your stomach hurts a lot, or if you have leaky gut. One of them is called slippery elm, which I've heard of. I've never personally used it, but slippery elm is often used when someone has constipation. It helps with their, bile flow. It helps with their excretion of waste, if you will. And also marshmallow, which is another herb that will help with your digestive process and help with your gut. So that is the 6 different things that Dr. Ingels recommends for the restoring the immune balance in your gut. And that's stage 1. Stage 2 is called immune boosting diet. And in this part, he really talks about using an alkaline diet in order to fight back against Lyme disease, because Lyme microbes love an acidic environment. So the more acidic your body is, the more foods that you're eating that are acid forming, then the easier the time that a Lyme microbe has to survive and stay alive and thrive inside your body. So we want to make it difficult for them. We want to make the body very alkaline, and there's a few things that you can do in order to do that. First of all, you can change your diet and start eating more alkaline foods. I've been thinking about creating a PDF with all of the alkaline foods, all of the acidic foods just for you. Let me know if that's something you're interested in the comments below, so that you can download it and have that for your own health. So first, increase alkaline foods, and second, reduce acid forming foods like coffee. It's a really big one that a lot of people will struggle with, and it's very difficult. I actually recently just quit using coffee, and it was a bit difficult, but now I feel a lot better. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It reduces blood flow to the brain, and it's acid forming. So it causes the body to produce acid, and it is acidic for the body. So Lyme microbes love that. They thrive off the body being acidic. So when I was healing from Lyme disease, I actually cut coffee out of my life completely. I started drinking a reishi mushroom coffee every morning, because reishi actually has a lot of health benefits that are linked back to helping with Lyme disease as well. One easy step to take in order to move more into the alkaline side of things is, first thing in the morning, drink some lemon water. Just squeeze a fresh lemon into your water. Now, you might be thinking, lemons are acidic. How does that work? Well, it's not whether or not the food is acidic, it's the effect that it has on the body. So when you drink lemon water, it actually has an alkaline effect on the body. And so the pH of your body actually changes in the form of becoming more basic, more alkaline when you have lemon water in the morning. So that's a great way to get off on the right foot, get started on the path of alkalinity every single morning. And then you can do things to help you stay there by choosing foods that are more alkaline in nature. I'll put a picture right here of some common alkaline foods that you could find in order to eat them more often and improve your diet. When the body is more alkaline, the immune system starts to thrive. We start to take back control of the immune system, and it's very helpful in the fight against Lyme disease. And finally, Dr. Ingels talks about avoiding low-grade allergens and foods that cause allergies. See, we have allergies to food sometimes and don't even know it. There are very low-grade allergic reactions that occur when we eat certain foods, and it's different for everybody. So you have to figure out what it is for you. And one way to do that is by doing an elimination diet. Another way to do that is just to get a simple allergy test online, but you'll find out that you have simple allergies, not like allergies where you have breakout hives. Just this specific food gives me a ton of inflammation. Very common one is gluten, for example. See, there's people that have full-blown allergies to gluten where they get allergic reactions, but those are celiac disease. There's other groups of people that they eat gluten and it causes an inflammatory response in their body, but they don't even know it because it's so low grade, it's so like down low. It's not like everything changes when they eat it, but their body doesn't love it when they're eating all that gluten. We also want to make sure we reduce sugar because sugar hurts the immune system and causes inflammation. So look out for sugar. Get that out of your life. You don't need it. So that's stage 2, the immune boosting diet. There's a lot more to it, but basically what we want to do is increase the alkaline foods in our life and decrease the acid forming foods in our life, and that will get us on the right track to taking back control of our immune system. Stage 3 of the 5-part plan is to prevent and target active infection. So all of the things we've done so far, we've improved the gut, we've taken back control of the immune system. Now we want to actually focus on killing Lyme microbes and getting rid of them. And in this part of the book, he suggests 5 different herbal protocols that you can use in order to fight back. And this is very smart. I love this. It's a great idea because, using antibiotics just doesn't work the same way as we would want it to. I personally didn't use antibiotics. I used herbs, and I had a very serious case of Lyme disease where it was attacking my heart. If you haven't heard my story, stick around the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and you'll soon see that I was dealing with a very serious case of Lyme disease, and I was able to heal by using herbs and nutrition and sleep and all of the different parts of holistic health that we always talk about. But let me save you some time when it comes to choosing of these 5 different protocols. Here is a screenshot that shows that the Booner protocol is the #1 protocol. This is from a very, very popular Facebook group filled with Lyme disease patients, and they all voted on which one worked the best for them. They said the Booner protocol was the best one, and 49% of people voted for that one, which is very, very telling. I personally used the Booner protocol when I was healing, and I was able to get rid of Lyme disease and fight back within 6 to 12 months of using those herbs. Now that might sound like a lot, but it's actually not in the grand scheme of things. I'm very, very glad that I did it, and it wasn't that big of a deal. But it was difficult to find those herbs. It was difficult to make sure that you could have everything you need. It was difficult to be able to, get the teas and make teas and, go to herbalists and get tinctures made. I had to search high and low for all these herbs. Where's the best deal? Which one has the lowest price? Which one has the best quality herbs? It was a very annoying process to try to find all of the herbs and get them shipped to my house, or go to health stores and search through or talk to people and try to find the herbs. It was just a long, arduous, annoying process. That's why after I beat Lyme disease, I decided to create the LymeWars herb box. Inside the LymeWars herb box is the exact Booner's protocol, the 3 herbs that he recommends we use as a core protocol to fight back against Lyme disease. They are Japanese knotweed, cat's claw, and andrographis. And they come in this nice box shipped directly to your door so that you never have to worry about where to get your herbs from, or making teas, or talking to herbalists and trying to make a specific tincture. All you have to do is order your box and it comes to your door every single month. You never have to think about herbs again. All you do is wake up, take your herbs in the morning with your lemon water so that you're in a super alkaline state, and you fight back against Lyme. And you'll be using the #1 herbal protocol that the most people recommend. So if you're interested in that, go to LymeDiseaseWars.com, get your box today. It's LymeDiseaseWars.com, and you can get your box for less than $2 per day. That's right, it's less than a can of Coke. This is a great deal, and it's super helpful. I wish this was available when I was fighting back against Lyme disease. I would have bought it in a second, because I just kept thinking, man, I just wish somebody would just send me the herbs, the exact herbs that I need in like a kit, so that I could just use that kit each and every time, each and every month, and just continue to get that for the 12 months that I was taking herbs. But I actually had to get it from different companies and try to find it. Like, okay, I got it here last time, but now they're out of this specific herb, so now I gotta go over here. It was such a pain in the butt, and I wanna make it nice and easy for you, so that's why I created LymeDiseaseWars.com. So go check it out, look at the details, decide if it's a good decision for you, and if it is, we can't wait to serve you. Stage 4 of the 5-part plan is called Hidden Toxins. In this chapter, in this section of the book, he talks about how There's different chemicals all around us all the time. I mean, there's chemicals in our deodorant, in our soap, in our personal care products, cleaning products. All around us, there's all these chemicals, and as our body absorbs these chemicals, it builds up over time, and eventually it spills over. It creates major issues for our body trying to heal from Lyme disease or trying to do anything. It just really dampens everything. It can really harm your endocrine system, which creates hormones like testosterone and estrogen, and it really just wreaks havoc on the body to have this amount of chemicals in our life. And if you think about it, in the modern age, the amount of chemicals in our life is higher than ever before. So in order to fix that problem, it's important to focus on the products that you use, figure out the best ones that have the least amount of harmful chemicals. There are companies that can help you figure that out by a simple Google search. Will tell you if the products you use are good or if you need to find new ones that have less chemicals and harmful ingredients in them. Another really common toxin with Lyme disease, for some reason, these seem to go hand in hand. I'm not really sure why, but it's mold toxicity. So a lot of people with Lyme disease actually have mold that they're dealing with. And mold just comes from moldy basements or being in moldy environments and breathing in that mold over a long period of time. Now, there's no real reason why that should be linked to Lyme disease, but the symptoms of mold toxicity and Lyme disease are very, very similar. So sometimes people think they have Lyme disease, but they find out they're dealing with mold toxicity. Once they clear up that mold toxicity, their Lyme disease symptoms start to go away and they start to feel better. Or they have mold toxicity and Lyme disease. Once they clear up that mold, they're able to fight back against Lyme disease in the correct way, and they're able to take back control of their body and feel like themselves again. So a real key would be to have a test for mold toxicity somewhere in your line of trying to figure out how you're gonna beat Lyme disease, especially in chronic cases. You wanna rule out any mold toxicity as part of the process. And this isn't in the book, but I will add this in myself. Another thing is heavy metal toxicity, which happens very often if you have high amounts of lead or aluminum in your body. It can lead to serious problems, or mercury. So these problems also mimic some of the symptoms of Lyme disease as well. So a heavy metal test can go a long way in your, navigating this very dark disease that you don't want to be dealing with. And if it's chronic, you should focus on those areas as well, just to rule them out and make sure that it's not something else holding you back from healing the body. See, our body can only function up to its restraints, and it can be restrained by infections for Lyme microbes, but it can also be restrained by things like heavy metal toxicity and mold toxicity. And if those things are there, it's going to be hard to heal from the other things, right? There's a big chain of things. You've got to kind of start at the very beginning, the root cause, and work your way backwards. The immune system is never going to be able to fight back and really heal from Lyme disease if you're dealing with something like mold toxicity or heavy metal toxicity. So we've got to start there, get that cleaned out, and then we can move on to fighting back against Lyme disease. Stage 5 is called more sleep, more exercise, less stress. So those are 3 things that I love and I totally agree with. So more sleep is going to be really, really key. It's when our body rebuilds itself. It's when our body restores health. We can, actually restore and rebuild any cells that are damaged throughout the day. And it's really important that we get enough sleep, and not just enough in the amount of time, but also quality sleep. So that means we're hitting the different stages of sleep: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, REM sleep, non-REM sleep. We have to get all of this sleep in order for our body to function properly, in order for us to be able to fight back against Lyme disease, but also in order to feel normal and feel good in the day-to-day. So sleep is so important in your battle against Lyme disease. And I know it's hard because a lot of people with Lyme disease have insomnia. And I was one of those people as well. It started making me wake up at 2 in the morning for no reason, or wake up at 1 in the morning, or just stay up for no reason, not being able to find a few hours of quality sleep. And that just wrecks the entire next day. So we have to do certain things in order to get back our sleep. And on this channel, we talk about it all the time. So hit the subscribe button below. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll give you some more in-depth tips for how to get ready for a great night's sleep. And we'll talk about it more so that you can improve your sleep and you can improve your life. The next thing was more exercise, and more exercise obviously improves your life, but I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I have Lyme disease, I can't exercise, or it's really hard to exercise because I feel fatigued all the time. And that's completely understandable. See, personally, I stopped exercising when I found out I had Lyme disease. I thought, I need to fight back. I'm just too tired. And before that, I was a very active individual. I was, very competitive. I like to play sports. I like to run. I like to, lift weights. I was active. It was starting to go down, my activity. And then I got Lyme disease. And then I didn't exercise at all for a little while. But as time went on and I started to fight back and I started to feel like I had energy again because I was focusing on reducing stress, which we'll talk about in a minute, but also on sleeping well and on taking the right herbs and on, eating the right foods. I started to get a little bit of my energy back, and I would use that energy in order to do things like just go for a walk. Go for a walk around the block. You can do swimming. You can do yoga. You can do Tai Chi. You can do these different things that aren't extremely taxing and involve all of your muscles and going super hard, but they allow you to move your body. And when you move your body, it helps get blood flow to the rest of your body, which helps transport nutrients to the body. It allows the body to start to function the way that it's meant to. See, we are creatures that are meant for movement. We're not meant to be still all the time, all day, every day. So when we start moving the body, it allows our body to say, oh, okay, everything's normal, so let's act in a normal way. Eventually, as I started feeling better, I started doing more and more exercise. So I started running, started lifting weights again, started playing sports again, and now I'm completely active. I exercise probably 8 times per week at least, and I'm very on top of exercise. It's a great tool for managing stress, for feeling good, for feeling confident, and for increasing lifespan and health span. And the final thing is stress management. So listen, we've got to reduce the amount of stress in our life, because when we're stressed, we increase our blood pressure, we mess up a whole bunch of systems in our body, we have a cortisol dump that causes us to just not feel great, and the body doesn't work properly under stress for long periods of time, right? We're meant to be stressed over short periods of time, but if we're constantly stressed, the body starts to break down. And it's like a pot boiling over, where it just bubbles up and then it boils over, and we start to see very difficult symptoms to deal with. So a few things to help with stress management would be meditation. That's a huge one. It allows you to focus on a single point for a specific period of time every day. And as you get better and better at meditation, you'll realize that your stress just goes down. You tend to have more control over your stress response, more control over your emotions, more control over your thought patterns, and things just start to feel a lot better in the day-to-day process. When I had Lyme disease, I was meditating every single day without fail, and it helped a ton with my stress reduction, because a big part of my Lyme symptoms, I believe, was that I was just extremely stressed out to the max. So started incorporating those into my life, and it helped a ton. The other thing is relationships. So if there's someone in your life that's causing you more harm than good, or if they're just taking from you or making you feel negative or fighting with you constantly, it's time to think about getting rid of those people out of your life so that you can reduce your stress and feel like a better version of yourself. And the final part of stress reduction that I want to talk about, and I'm adding this in on my own, this isn't part of the book, but it's something that I love to talk about with stress reduction. It's the circle of control. So if you draw 2 circles, right? There's one circle, and those are the things you can control. They're within your control. So if you were to write everything that's within your control, what's in your control? Well, what you eat every day is in your control. Whether or not you meditate is in your control. What kind of habits you have. Are you watching TV all day, or are you going for a walk? Are you out in nature? Are you experiencing life? What kind of relationships do you have? All these things are things that you control. What you bring to the relationship is something you can control. But then there's a lot of things that you cannot control. It's outside of your circle of control. Things like the news, political leaders, what's going on over with your friend, or maybe even your relationship. What's on the other side of the relationship? What do they bring to the relationship? You can't control that. You can only control yourself. There's a very finite amount of things that you have control over in your life. And so the rest of those things, you should basically just not worry about or not focus on at all. All you can do is focus on what you can control and what you bring to every picture of every interaction or every encounter or every period of your life. Focus on what you can control and don't focus on what you can't control, or just don't pay much mind to it because you don't have any control over it. So there's no point in dwelling on it or thinking about it or constantly arguing about it or putting stress on yourself to fix something that you have no control over. So reduce all the stress involved with things that you can't control, and you'll start to see that your stress is a lot better. Your stress management goes up and your stress reduction goes up, and your stress levels go down. You start to normalize your blood pressure, you have less cortisol, you have more positive feelings in your life, you have hope for what's in the future, and your body starts to heal based on that. So that's it. That's the 5-stage plan that Dr. Ingels put together in his book, The Lyme Solution. I hope this video helps you start to think about, what you can do in order to get better from Lyme disease. I like doing these book review videos. Let me know if you like them. Hit the like button below or leave a comment. Let me know what you think of these book review videos so I can decide if I'm going to keep doing them or if I should focus my attention somewhere else. But hopefully this video helps you and gives you insight into the book without having to go through the long, arduous process of reading it. In the meantime, make sure to get your herbs. Go to LymeDiseaseWars.com right now, get your herbs. It'll be Booner's Protocol sent directly to your door every single month, or just once if you don't want the monthly subscription. Totally understand. Not everybody loves monthly subscriptions, but if you do want them to come to your door on autopilot without you thinking about it, we have that as an option as well. Well, the book actually ends with him going into more advanced details for chronic Lyme disease cases and persistent Lyme disease, the toughest of the tough cases where this 5-stage plan doesn't fully get them there, but it gets them on the correct start. So he goes into some more advanced stuff from there. I'm not going to get too deep into that in this video because I already have been speaking long enough about this book. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.